Is this Pixar's biggest flop to date?
Ever.
Maybe. Hello storytellers, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Lauren. I'm an actress, teacher and all-round storyteller. This is my lovely husband Daniel, who comes with me to all the movies and all these adventures which happen in parks, pages and pixels. And today we're talking about Elio, which is the most recent Pixar film.
At the time of recording.
Yeah. So Daniel, why did we pick this film?
So we picked this film because we go see every Disney and Pixar film. Don't be silly.
Yeah, true.
The trailer looked really cute.
The trailer looked cute. I do feel like they over-advertised it in cinemas, under-advertised it everywhere else. So we have Odeon cards. So we go to the cinema, 2-3 times a month?
Yeah. And
I swear every film we went to see, there was the back-to-back trailers. They had 2 trailers and they were back-to-back every time to the point where it kind of annoyed you because it was showing like the same clips in different orders. But then I think to when we were walking around, I don't remember seeing it anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd give us the synopsis of the film?
Yeah, let's do the synopsis because that's why we went to see it.
Elio, an underdog with an active imagination, finds himself inadvertently beamed up to the Communiverse, an interplanetary organization with representatives from galaxies far and wide. Mistakenly identified as Earth's ambassador to the rest of the universe, he starts to form new bonds with eccentric aliens while discovering who he's truly meant to be.
So that synopsis sounds quite cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is accurate.
It is accurate.
It's very accurate.
That is the film.
That is the film. Yeah, so Elio, it's about a boy who unfortunately has lost his parents and he's been left with his aunt. And he seems to have this overwhelming sense that no one really wants him and he doesn't really belong there and he belongs with aliens. And so he does everything in his power to contact aliens. He's got, the tin hat helmets. He writes in the sand saying, "Come get me, please." And
ham radios and
and has forums. Goes on the forums online all about. And he's not old. He is still a kid. He's what, like 10?
Yeah, he's meant to be, I think, a preteen.
Yeah, and so he sort of isolates himself from others his age because he's so disinterested in them, and it leads to some bullying, some threats, and eventually I don't want to spoil too much, but he does manage to make contact with aliens. They come get him and they believe he is Earth's ambassador. He is the leader of Earth. And he plays along with it, and he goes on this big tour of the Interverse? Communiverse. He goes on the big tour of the Communiverse and he ends up meeting an alien who's around the same age as him.
Not on the Communiverse.
No, he's on the Communiverse. No, he's not on the Communiverse. No, I went wrong there. Apologies.
So
he was on the Communiverse.
He's being shown around. He's having a great time. They think, well, maybe we could offer you membership, and then the Communiverse gets attacked.
Yeah.
Right?
Not necessarily attacked. Someone turns up who's been repeatedly requesting he becomes a member of the Communiverse, and unfortunately they're deemed as these like big, scary, violent aliens because they are big, scary, violent aliens. And they're told that he's going to attack and he's going to take over if they don't let him in and listen to him. And they all decide they're just going to flee. And then Elio because if they all flee, there's no Communiverse, and Elio has to go back to Earth. He doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So he offers to
be a peace negotiator.
And it almost works.
Yeah.
In the end, he ends up down in like the prison cells and tries to escape, meets this other alien. Them two become instant besties, and you realise that the issues Elio is dealing with, this alien is also dealing with very similar issues. and they bond over it, and it's how do they navigate this situation and maintain a friendship.
So the kind of themes in this film are, again, family. It's not
acceptance,
not
loss,
not feeling like you're part of a group.
So feeling other.
Yeah.
Very similar themes to our last movie review, which was Lilo and Stitch, which I'll link above and below.
And then and then the target audience, I think, you know, this felt very much aimed at kids.
Yes, the Pixar generally, although they're family-friendly films, they are more aimed at
a family audience.
A younger audience is what I was going to say.
I was going to say like a whole family audience. Whereas like a Disney film tends to be aimed at the younger audience. I would say a Pixar film is aimed at family audience.
But this one I would say feels younger.
Yeah.
To some extent than other Pixar films.
This felt like it was more for the kids than the parents.
Yeah, so one of the original themes that was going to be in this movie, which I haven't even discussed with you, so this would be interesting. So when they did, what's it called? It's not called the pilot run. When they present it to a small audience and get feedback.
They did like test screenings.
Yeah, when they did that, originally the storyline was actually romantic between Elio and...
Oh, the alien?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Not like explicitly romantic, but it was leaning more towards that.
Okay.
And the audience were like, please stop, this is weird. Like, I don't want to show my kids this. So that's when they made it like a friendship.
Yeah.
How true that is or not, who knows? But that is what was being circulated on the internet. You can't trust everything you read on the internet, but that was one of the things I heard. So originally one of the themes was meant to be LGBTQIA.
Okay.
Because the alien is male, Elio is male. So...
Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, I didn't get to see this version if it ever happened, if it was a real thing. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not against showing like my students, or if I was to have kids, LGBTQIA content. I want them to be accepting of it, but I don't know if this is the film to put it in.
Yeah.
It feels weird.
Especially
it's sort of borderlines on bestiality to an extent.
Yeah, and you know, it's an alien. It's meant to, like, you're making one half of what would have been an LGBT couple very other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we can't say if that actually happened because, you know, that's just who we're saying was potentially in test screenings. But yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable with that as a plot line either.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right for this kind of film.
Yeah.
So genre-wise, family-friendly.
Fantasy,
sci-fi.
Adventure.
Cartoon, anime, blah, blah. And the target audience definitely is families. I'd say families with...
Younger children.
Not like babies. So like, our friend has a son who's 1. I wouldn't show him this film.
You couldn't get him to sit down for it.
He wouldn't sit down and watch it.
3 and up.
When he gets to about the age of 3, I maybe 4, I'd put it on. So, characters and performance. This is obviously a little bit harder to analyse when it comes to an animated show or a film, because we're judging the characters, less so the actors, because it's their voices. Now, in terms of the quality of the voice acting, very high.
Yeah, the voice cast was great.
The voice cast was great. Great tone, great pitch, accent, inflections. As a drama teacher, very strong performance. So that is as much as I can really say about
and they all had distinguishable enough voices that you didn't necessarily have to see the character to know who they were. Yeah.
They made sure that every character sounded very different, which is a key component when you're doing
voice work.
Animated and voice work. So in terms of the characters, I'm going to go on a limb here. I don't feel like any of them I gravitated towards.
Yeah.
There's none that I'm like, oh, I really loved that character. Whereas in a lot of Pixar and Disney films, there will be a character that's like a favourite or
Okay, let's use Monsters Inc. as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Almost everyone who watched that film had a different favourite character,
Mine's Sully.
right? Could be Sully, could be what's the name of the woman who runs the desk?
Roz.
Roz, right?
I'm watching you,
yeah.
Wazowski.
That'd be some people's favourite character, you
Yeah.
know. Could be Boo,
Could be Celia, could be Mike, could be Randall. I also quite like.
I also see a lot of people who really liked Randall's assistant.
Yeah, whose name has escaped me.
But you know, some people liked that character, you know.
But yeah, it feels like any film you pick for a Pixar or a Disney, I could easily say, oh, maybe not my favourite film, but I like that character. With this, I don't have a character that I liked enough that I'd want.
Yeah, the other so the alien that Elio befriends was a likable character, but incredibly childish. Where it's not it's not gonna be a parent or an adult's favorite character, but children might gravitate towards him.
But I also didn't find that he was like the comedy of it either, to make kids laugh.
Yeah.
I think that's what was slightly missing in this film is the story and the plot actually quite good, and we'll get to that in a little while, but I don't feel like they made a character that kids would want to dress up as or be friends with. No, if you take Avengers for example, my nephew, when he was younger than he is now, if he gets older and sees this, I'm sorry bro, but he was obsessed and he absolutely loved Spider-Man.
It's normal.
It's very normal. But he also loved to assign characters to relatives to play with him. And that was his favourite. I think even if you asked him now, even though he's kind of come out of the whole superhero thing, he'd probably say, yeah, Spider-Man is the best by far. And that's the thing. You're meant to watch these films and have a character you are drawn to. It's meant to be the lead or usually the comedy sidekick.
Yeah.
But with this, there was no character that I was like, if they're in a Disney park, I want to meet them, or I wish I was friends with them, or I want to see more from them.
The other thing is, the aliens all had quite interesting designs, but a lot of them had quite limited roles. Right? The humans that did have more major roles were all quite plain in design.
Yeah. So
you can't have dress up like character versions of them at Disney parks because they're too basic in design. Whereas, you know, the characters that were actually interesting enough to be at Disney park, none of them were given time to breathe. Yeah. They're all very one note. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there was one alien, I think it was a she, the one that could mind read.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt at the beginning that she was going to become a character that I got invested in. Mm-hmm. But she just wasn't in it enough.
Yeah.
And it was just she could mind read and that she had a nice voice.
Yeah.
And was slightly pink.
Pink.
Yeah. So I do feel like the characters is where this was let down. Not the actors and the way they produced it. That is actually quite good quality.
Yeah.
But I feel like the characters were not fleshed out. The plot, strong. Storyline, strong. And had a very good chance of giving a great dramatic message to kids. But because there's nothing to these characters, it loses all. It's the same when I'm analysing my GCSE performances. I'm like, you can come up with the greatest plot, the greatest ideas, the greatest story, or you can have the worst plot, the worst ideas, the worst story, but you have to sell it with you. And that's what they missed. They had good ideas, but didn't sell it with the characters. They needed to know who these characters were.
Yeah. Have you got a favourite scene or a favourite moment?
That's a great question. I did quite like the moment between Elio and, like I said, the mind-reading alien when he really actively is like, no, don't read my mind, and then she does, and then she realises what he's done. That moment, it built up a little bit of suspense, and I was like, what's going to happen next? I liked that interaction, but I feel like the reaction afterwards wasn't.
The other thing is they animated her really well there, and you got in that moment you like this is an alien with a face that we're not going to be like used to seeing emotions on, and you saw her go through the process of realizing what had happened, not wanting to expose him because she felt bad for him, and then kind of realizing, you know, what she has to do.
She has to do it. She can't not do it. She'd be doing a disservice to the entire galaxy. Galaxy versus one boy. You can see her like mulling it over. So that was probably my favourite moment. Do you have a favourite moment?
My favourite moments were a couple of the gags. So the bit when he was enjoying being flushed down what was actually a toilet.
Yeah. This is awesome. This is the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously the get in my mouth bit, which was in the trailer.
Yeah. I feel like because we'd seen that so much in the trailer, when it actually happened, it was just like, yeah, come on, let's go. I'd seen it too much.
And unfortunately, that was one of the highlights of the whole film.
Yeah. And they were right to put it in the trailer. But, yeah.
There wasn't enough other big moments.
Sorry, I'm going to start you in a minute. I did really like the bit with the pod. That whole segment where they were trying to keep the alien alive in the pod, and they had to try and use like radio signals and get people to like help power the pod. That was quite good. There was some nice moments. Like I said, I've got no issues with necessarily the story. It's just the way they develop the characters. In terms of my least favourite, I don't really have like a least favourite moment. Meh is how I feel about a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really well produced, so that kind of makes it hard to pick a least favourite. Do you have a least favourite moment? A moment you were like, I could have done without?
No, not particularly.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's what I mean by the story was strong. And the production was strong.
I'm going to say something that I'm going to contradict myself. I could have done without half the film, right? But the film was also not long enough to flesh out the characters that it had. Yeah. So the film needed to be longer, but also I could have done away with half of that film. Yeah. Which is why I said it. It feels like the characters weren't developed. The story was there, but no one had thought about who these characters really were and what motivates them and stuff like that. Who would we recommend it to? I'm gonna be honest. I would recommend it to like my nieces and nephews who are under the age of 10. But I probably wouldn't recommend it either, if that makes sense. If you know, if they're on the sofa and they don't know what to watch, I'd be like, stick this on. But I wouldn't rush to tell them to go watch it. Does that make sense? You don't understand what I mean. If it's a convenient moment to be like, just stick this on. But I wouldn't go out and be like, you must watch this film. I would recommend it to parents who promised their kids to a trip to the cinema and missed Lilo and Stitch. Yeah. That's genius parenting from my husband right there. I look forward to parenting with you one day. Thank you. We agree on this now. Thank you. Amazing. So if you promised your kids a trip to the cinema and then by the time that you actually got around to doing it, the run of Lilo and Stitch had ended, you can go see Elio. Go see Elio, yeah. That's genius. Would we watch it again? No. No, probably not. One was enough. Yeah. Which I feel bad because the majority of Pixar films I would watch again. I'm actually struggling to think of one I wouldn't watch again. Even Cars. Cars I've watched once. And although I didn't love it, I would watch it again. I know a lot of people are big stands of it. So the other thing is that obviously a lot of Pixar films get sequels. Yeah. Much more commonly than Disney. Yeah. I'll be interested to see if they pursue this. I don't think they will. We'll see. We will see. Only time will tell. Did you gain any new perspective from this, or did you feel like it left a lasting impact on you in any way? No, I think the best way I could describe, to summarise this entire film, right, and very quickly, is if somebody took Monsters Inc. and Lilo and Stitch and went like that, right? Yeah. And then beat all of the character out of it. Yeah. Right? All of the charm, all of the character was beaten out of it. And as such, we'd just seen Lilo and Stitch like days before. right?
It was 2 days before, 48 hours.
Yeah, they were close together that we saw the two films. And, you know, we've seen Monsters Inc. in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd had my fill of this film's message before we walked into it.
Which is you need to be accepting of everyone no matter your differences. Yeah. And I'm also going to put, I do feel like Turning Red had similar influence in this. Because a big part for the aliens, the dad and the son figure at the end, was the father accepting his son for not being like him. And obviously in Turning Red, it's all about Mei embracing being the panda, which goes against the family's traditions, and her mum having to accept that her daughter is going to be different from her. And yeah, so it feels like Pixar have picked up on a lot of the similar things they've done and just smushed it.
Run it back.
Yeah. So in terms of a star rating, I'm at a 1.
I wasn't quite as harsh as that. I would say 2, right?
I want to put this in context. You gave Lilo and Stitch 2.5.
Yeah.
So you think this is only half a star worse?
I think if Lilo and Stitch hadn't come out at the same-ish time and actually just before it, and we'd just seen this film, we would have walked away thinking that was just below average. And 2.5 is average.
Yeah.
Right? I think the burnout of seeing a very similar themed film just before it is going to bring this film further down. So I'm going to say 2. I'm going to stick to 2 because I think saying lower than that is harsh because there were some good elements to the film.
Yeah, and it, like I said, the storyline was good and it was produced well.
Yeah.
It's just the character. Okay, I hear you. I'll 1.5.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Pixar do pick back up again, like the productivity they were having to begin with. Have you heard the story about Pixar and their plan for these films?
No.
So they wrote down all of the films are now out on a napkin before the company opened, or like on the first briefing meeting they had.
Yeah.
And they've just been going through that list.
Okay.
And now they've got none left. So now they're having to like start again, I think. So yeah, considering they started in what, 1991?
I don't know when they started.
Something like, yeah, because Toy Story was 93.
Okay.
I think year I was born, something like that. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, they in their first meeting came up with a long list of movies they wanted to make. Obviously, Toy Story was top of the list, and rolled with it from there. That's what people are saying online anyway. Again, can't trust everything that's online, but I think one of like the exec producers from like way back in the day has been like, yeah, that's exactly what we did. Maybe not as fleshed out as some of the films have ended up being, but yeah, the majority of nearly all the films they've made, they wrote on a napkin in a meeting.
They had a vague idea for.
Yeah. So I'm now intrigued to see what comes next, because it would be a brand new set of creatives, designers, writers, etc.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Woo! Please and thank you. I'm being a bit of a beg now. Please.
First person to subscribe off this video will have good fortune for a week.
That. Help a couple out here. We are poor. We are just poor people. The next one. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows what we're going to go see next? There's some films that are in the works I know that are coming up that I'm very intrigued to see. There's rumours that Tim Burton's working on something new, so obviously I am hyped.
We've obviously got the Marvel films and the DC films at the moment.
Yeah, so we are filming this at the end of July, so we've got a lot of movies coming out.
Yeah.
So
summer holidays.
So there's going to be plenty of content to come. Woo. Thanks for watching. Deuce.